Hello there and welcome back to another one of my videos. I'm sorry I haven't been online that much, but now I just game for my own pleasure and I don't really stream that much. I do video captures of my gaming and then I post it on YouTube, but I don't comment on those just because when I game I like to watch other stuff on TV or on my computer, like Netflix or just stream regular TV, and I can't do that. I can be violating federal laws because of that. So here we go. And thank you for sticking with me. I now have over 200 subscribers. I'm happy for that. Google or YouTube is still not paying me at all. But here I am back with another unboxing slash build video. This will be the third such computer that I build for the purpose of selling. The first two I did sell, sold on eBay, and then so I decided to do this again. I don't make that much money off eBay. On one computer, I actually lost like $5. But I mean, if you haven't sold too much on eBay, what you need to do is you need to get your ranking or your reviews or your reputation up on eBay first, before people can really buy from you. So for this computer, I chose this Zalman Z1 Neo case. You'll see the specs here in a sec. Basically, it is a mid-tower. It does have a 5.25 inch external bay for a DVD player or a Blu-ray player. It does have USB 3 headers, USB 2 headers, a microphone and speaker. Both those jacks are on the front also. You do have USB in the back, but that's with the motherboard obviously. The PC case does have two fans right here in the front, and they're both LED blue. It does have a side panel window that's made out of plastic. You can still see through it. It looks nice. If you take care of it and you don't scratch it, you don't have a cat or a dog or something that will scratch that, you should be fine. But it looks nice. It looks a lot nicer in person. And the reason why I got it was because I went to Fry's to get the CPU for this build, and I saw this case, and it only cost $33 at Fry's. I think now they raised it to $43, but usually it's supposed to be an MSRP of like $70. And the CPU I chose for this build is the i3, the Intel Core i3-8100. It is not unlocked, which means that you can't overclock it. The socket is LGA 1151. It does come with the cooler. You can see a little booklet here, and on the back you can see the sticker that indicates that it's an authentic Intel CPU. See that there? There it is. The i3 is right there. You can see exactly what it is. Why did I choose this? I chose this CPU because it's kind of meant for low-end gaming. This is the cooler. It already has the pre-applied thermal paste, so you don't need to add anymore. You're fine with that. Just don't touch it and you'll be fine. Put it away. Make sure that nothing gets on it before you use it. So that's why I put it back in the box. So why did I choose this? I chose it because I wanted to do an entry-level gaming build. This CPU will be really nicely paired up with a GTX 1050 Ti or an RX 460 or 470. Maybe even a 480 will work well with this. I mean, the CPU might bottleneck it, I don't know. But this is for entry-level gaming, or a 1060, 3 gigs or 6 gigs, either way. A 1070 might be better equipped with the i5. So, the motherboard here is the correct socket LGA 1151. It is an MSI motherboard. I just like how MSI looks. I like how the motherboard itself looks. I like how the box looks. I like how the BIOS, which you'll see at the end of the video, looks. I really like this. Obviously it has DDR4 RAM, 2 slots. It does have an HDMI port. That's where the VH stands comes in, because it's both VGA and it has HDMI, because everybody wants to use HDMI now. I don't know why they put DVI. The DVI motherboard is like $3 cheaper, but I prefer HDMI, and I'm pretty sure consumers do too. That way you can just plug it into a TV instead of a computer monitor, right? This is meant for those other people, the end consumer that doesn't want to build a computer, obviously. That's why they're buying it from me. And if you look at some of the stuff here from the motherboard, you saw the SATA cables, you saw this little sticker, which the buyer can, put wherever they want, maybe on top of the computer here. It also came with the I/O shield. It's a very simple I/O shield. It has no color. It just has indentation of the of what the connection is, but there's no color to it. It's just fine, you know. It's an entry-level motherboard. Didn't cost that much. It does come with instructions on how to install the CPU, which if you're interested in knowing, you should read this definitely first even before you touch the motherboard here. And it's really simple. All you have to do is pick up that lever, make sure that everything lifts up. Don't touch the connectors. Don't get them dirty, you know. Just don't touch them, and take out the CPU once you're ready to install it. If you're not ready to install it within the next 10 seconds, don't take it out of the plastic. Just leave it in there. So that's what I did. That's why you saw the plastic fall out of my hand right there. You'll see two notches on the CPU, two semicircles, and you'll see an up close shot here. So there's one, and there's the other one, and then on the top left corner you'll see a little gold triangle on the CPU itself that points to a circle or 3/4 circle on the slot. You'll see it there on the left side. So then you just lower it. You make sure that the little bracket that holds the CPU in place goes underneath the screw. Once you do that, all you have to do is force it down. It doesn't require a lot of strength, but you know, do it slowly, and you'll feel some resistance, which is fine. And then the little plastic cover comes off, and then once you do that, then the very next thing you have to do is install the CPU cooler. And we're just going to use the one that comes with Intel's CPU. You don't need anything stronger than this. You cannot overclock this CPU, so you don't need to worry about more heat dissipating from it. So all you need to do is locate where the CPU fan connects to, which is there, and then connect it up accordingly. And you'll hear it snap 4 times, and you'll know you did it right. All you have to do is just snap in place. One, then the opposite corner, then the third one, and the opposite corner of that, and you're all ready to go. That's it. Next thing you do is you have to connect the CPU fan to the right slot. You need to connect it to the right slot. If you don't do it, it won't even boot up. Probably. If you have another fan installed, just install it where it's supposed to be. It says on the motherboard CPU fan. Install it there. Now with the CPU in place, and now that you saw that I picked it up correctly from the CPU cooler, that's how you're supposed to have it. Next thing is the RAM. So for this, I chose 8 GB of RAM, 1 stick. It only has 2 slots, so whoever buys this computer can buy another 8 stick of RAM, and they'll have 16 total, which is really which is a lot for entry-level gaming. For entry-level gaming, 8 GB is fine. You know, you should be fine with just 8 gigs. You'll hear it snap in place. You need to make sure that the module slot is aligning with the little notch in the module itself. So just if it doesn't go in one way, it will go the other way. Next thing you do is you fit in the motherboard. You'll see the little holders, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 of those. Make sure they're aligned. If they're not a big problem. All you have to do is remove the last 2. See, this motherboard doesn't have them there, or the case actually. They're down there, which is fine. The case manufacturer just assumed you were going to use a slightly larger motherboard. We didn't, but that's fine. All you need to do is remove these 2 little screws. You'll need a nut driver actually, because it is like hex. So you just take that out. You can probably use an Allen wrench for this, but you know, just use that. Doesn't matter. The only reason why I use this was because I couldn't take it out with my hand. Sometimes you can if they do it loose enough, but in this case I couldn't. Take this off. You put in where they're supposed to be, and you're all done. You're good to go. So here we go. We grab those 2. Once we install these 2, we put the motherboard back with the I/O shield, and now you can see that they're aligned a little bit. Obviously I haven't screwed them in yet, so you know it's not aligned perfectly. It moves a little bit, but you'll see the I/O shield here. It's very simple. This is how the finished product looks with the PSU. We'll show the installation in a little bit. This is the PSU that we chose. So it is 500 watts. It's 80 plus bronze efficiency, which just basically means it's not crappy. You know, it's not a very well-known brand, but it works. It does the job. You can actually run this CPU and an RX 580 off of it. I've tried it before. I already tested it, so it works fine. You need to make sure that it's aligned properly. You need to make sure that the fan from the PSU is pointed downwards. Why? Because that's where it sucks in air. And it has a little filter on the bottom, a little mesh. So it sucks in cool air and it exhausts hot air from the back. See? So there it is. And all you have to do is install the 4 screws, hold it in place. And then you got the cables, because this is a non-modular supply for an entry-level gaming PC. We're not going to use a modular supply. That's too much money. You have to guide it through the back behind the panel, behind the motherboard, and connect everything in the motherboard. And for cable management, the case manufacturer actually was really nice and give you zip ties and little PCIe slot brackets and some extra screws in case you lose some or you need some more and the cat's interested. So we have a little baggie of screws and you can use. It has a little alarm audio thing that you can connect to the motherboard if you want to. And she likes it. So the SSD goes in the back behind the motherboard. So why did I choose an SSD? Well, when you ship a hard drive, there's always a chance of it moving around too much and it could actually stop working. The needle can move out of place and it's not a good day when that happens. Then you have to have a return. So in this case, the SSDs are actually going down in price enough that they are affordable for the consumer now. So I just installed an SSD without a hard drive. It's only 240 gigs, but I mean, if people want to install an extra terabyte or something, they can do that quite easily. So here's the SSD. And now with everything installed in place, we have to connect it to the monitor, the power, and a keyboard and mouse. Just test it out. And we installed Windows. We updated the BIOS. We installed the Windows. What else did we do? We had installed some drivers so we can test some games out. This is how it looks like when it's completely finished and turned on. But obviously the cable management has not been done yet. I'm not going to do cable management on a computer that I don't know works properly and waste time cutting the zip ties, retying them. It's just a waste of time. So I recommend you just power it on without both panels. I can look at everything go and keep the cats away from this. It turned on fine. I installed Windows no problem. It was actually quite fast because of the SSD. You can see the onboard headers right there. See the side shot with the SSD installed. The keyboard that I'm using, I'm not going to ship that with the computer. That's my keyboard. They're going to get a new keyboard. And here's the BIOS. You can tell that it's an i3 8100. It does have 8 gigs of RAM. It'll give you the speed, it'll give you the temperature, and it'll give you the storage, which is a solid state drive. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.